let me be upfront with you, right from the start. I'm not a doctor, not a cardiologist, not a nutritionist. What I am is a guy who had a couple heart attacks and a double bypass, and had to figure things out real fast, what I was going to be putting in my mouth for the rest of my life. Today I want to talk to you about diet because in my experience, that's where it starts. It's more important than supplements. It's more important than exercise or anything else. It starts there with what you eat. If you're getting value from this kind of content, please hit the like button and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get going on this. Let me take you back to where it all started for me. I had a double bypass, like I said, a couple heart attacks, and if you've never experienced anything like that, it has a way of getting your attention. Believe me, you wake up from that operation and you realize, just what happened with your heart, what's going on. It's a little scary. For me, the honest truth is, I had been eating the way probably most people do for most of my life. I did work at a health food store, a couple of them for about almost 2 decades. But even as I look back on that, I really wasn't eating all that healthy, really. I had things like sprout sandwiches and stuff, but I still indulged in all kinds of things that are, boxed ingredients and all these different things where there's 20 different things in it. And even if it said healthy on it, it didn't necessarily mean that, but I bought into it, and I still had a very big sweet tooth. I remember growing up, if it wasn't cereal or, pizza or something like that, I wasn't interested. So the first thing that I did was that I cut back on the carbs, not because the doctor told me so. Honestly, the advice I got from the doctor was pretty standard stuff. So I started doing my own research, and my wife was doing keto at the time. So that's where I started. I said, I want to do this. And now, for those of you who are maybe not too familiar with what keto is, it's very low carbohydrates, but higher in fat, higher in protein, but mainly the fat, low on the carbs, maybe 20 to 40 grams a day, just depending. But your body shifts from burning glucose for fuel to burning fat, and that's the process. It's called ketosis. Maybe a lot of you have heard of that. It has some real benefits in people dealing with metabolic issues, weight problems, and even cardiovascular health, which was what, I personally was most interested in. You out there, you might be interested in something else, weight loss or what have you. For me, the shift to keto, I noticed things pretty quickly. I lost a gut I had. It wasn't a big gut, I'm not saying that, but I still had a belly, and I had never had that before until, a few years before, the heart attack. But the keto got rid of that, and the visceral fat, I guess you could say. So I knew it was probably working on other things too. Now, I'm not going to tell you that keto is the only way or the best way for everybody. That's up to you. That's your decision. What I'm telling you is that for me, cutting the carbs really helped. And it gave me, something to build on, a foundation to build on. And if you're finding finding good value in what I'm doing here, please do me a favor, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on what's coming next. drop me a comment below and tell me what, where you're starting from. Are you already eating low carb? Are you just thinking about making a change, maybe? I read every comment and want to know, where you're at. And if you know someone who's dealing with heart issues or just trying to eat better, share this video with them. It might make a real difference. So I started with keto, and I did that for a while. I got comfortable with it. I figured out what I could eat, what I couldn't, and I started to feel genuinely better. But when I started hearing more and more about the carnivore diet, and at first, honestly, I thought it was a little extreme, maybe. I didn't know if I could do something like that. Just meat and eggs all the time. It sounded like, something you do on a dare. But the more I looked into it, the more sense it made to me, personally. The carnivore diet is essentially the ultimate elimination diet, where you remove every possible food that could be causing you inflammation, digestive issues, metabolic issues. You strip all the way back to the most basic, most bioavailable, foods on the planet, animal proteins and fats. So I made the transition gradually. I didn't just flip a switch and go from keto to full carnivore, overnight. I started slowly. I started eating more meat, more eggs, more animal-based foods. And slowly reduce the amount of, anything else I might have. Not so much vegetables for me, because I've never been a big vegetable fan, but more fruits, more plant foods. And over time, I landed somewhere where that worked really well for my body. Now, here's what I want you to understand. I'm not telling you that you need to go carnivore. I'm not telling you that you need to go keto. What I am telling you is that the direction both of these approaches point to, eating fewer processed foods, fewer refined carbohydrates, fewer things with long ingredient lists, that direction is right. The specifics, though, that's up to you. Quick break. I want to point something out because I think it's the most practical takeaway in this entire video. And it's something you can start doing today, regardless of whether you go on keto or carnivore or anything else. Start paying attention to how many ingredients are in what you're eating. That's it. Simple. Just start there, pick up a package of food, and read the label. If there are 20 ingredients and you can't pronounce half of them, put it down. If there's one ingredient, beef, eggs, salmon, chicken, put it in your cart. This is what I call the one ingredient food rule. It's not a diet plan. It's not a program. It's just a filter, a way of making smarter decisions at the grocery store when you're there. Meat, that's one ingredient. Eggs, one. Fish, one. Butter, one. These are foods your body knows how to process. These are foods that have kept human beings alive and healthy for a very long time. And when you build your diet around foods like these, you stop putting your body in a constant state of confusion, trying to figure out what to do with the list of chemicals and additives it was never designed to handle. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, do that right now. This is the first video in a series I'm building around heart health, nutrition, supplements, exercise for people who are serious about taking care of themselves, especially those who already had a wake-up call. Hit the subscribe button and share with someone in your life who may need to hear this. Now, I want to be really clear about something before I wrap this up. you don't have to do exactly what I did. My path, double bypass, keto, carnivore, that's my path. It came out of a specific situation, my specific body, and my specific health history. Your path might look different. Maybe you start by just cutting out soda and fast food. Maybe you try cutting bread and pasta for 30 days and see how you feel. Maybe you work with a nutritionist who helps you build a plan that fits your life. All of that is valid. All of that is progress. What I want you to take away from this video is simple. Diet is foundation. Everything else, the supplements, the exercise, the sleep, so on and so forth, all of it works better when you're eating clean. And eating clean doesn't have to be complicated. Fewer ingredients, more real food, less stuff that comes in a package, that with a commercial. That's where it starts. And that's where it started for me. And if a guy who had a double bypass and a couple heart attacks can turn his health around by changing what he puts, in his mouth, I think most people can do the same thing. Listen, if this video helped you or gave you something to think about, please share it with someone who needs it. Leave a comment below and tell me what dietary change you're going to make this week, even if it's a small one. And subscribe to this channel, because next we're going to talk about supplements, specifically the ones I take to support my heart health and why I take them. It's a video you're not going to want to miss. Thanks, and until next time, we'll see you. Bye-bye.